Hi, I'm Aisha.
I'm Christine.
I'm Prisika.
And today we're going to give you a tour of the LHS Wellness Center. So the Wellness Center's purpose is to provide a safe space for students to receive the mental health support that they need and help establish a positive culture here at LHS for all students to thrive.
Students can come here for 15-minute intervals with slips from their teachers to talk to culture keepers, counselors, and to just decompress.
Culture keepers are students who provide peer mental health support and maintain the Wellness Center. So the Wellness Center is pretty interactive. We have different tools that can help you de-stress and relax, such as these fidget toys and different workshops relating to different mental health issues that you may need support with.
Now that you have seen Wellness Center in 105, let's move into 107.
For our PBIS program to be the most successful at Livermore High School, we wanted to make sure we had a really strong social emotional learning framework that we were building off of. And we think we've done a pretty good job in complementing both sides, both the SEL and PBIS, in what has now grown into one of the main areas students come on campus for support.
What inspired you to start this program?
So we started the Wellness Center at Livermore High School to try and meet the mental health and wellness needs of our student body, and also have a dedicated space for services provided.
Can you tell me a little bit about your role in the Wellness Center?
So here at the Wellness Center, I mostly assist Mr. Radecke with his day-to-day operations, the wellness calendar, freeing him up from a lot of the office tasks to allow him to do more counseling and teaching and mentoring.
Who accesses the space?
So the Wellness Center is available to all students at Livermore High School, and we have a system where students can drop in for 15 minutes during class. They can come and make a referral for counseling services, and they can also just come in like before school, during lunch, or after school to drop in.
Who accesses this space?
Oh, lots of kids, 9th grade to 12th grade. Sometimes they just need a little break. Sometimes they're in crisis. I get to spend a lot of time with our culture keepers, which is pretty cool. All kinds of different situations.
What is your favorite spot in the Wellness Center and why?
It's a sign we made for seniors 2 years ago. It says, "Y'all already know," and kind of the idea of like, trust your intuition, trust your gut.
And where's your favorite spot in the Wellness Center and why?
So I'd kind of say right now, the way the space is growing here, this seems like the coziest space in the Wellness Center. So I'd probably go with right about here now, if I was a student. Just been a true blessing being a part of the program, and I'm truly impressed by all the students that I get to work with daily.
What's your favorite quote that really represents the Wellness Center?
So right now, a quote I like a lot is right up there. It says, "You are not weak," and I think it's important to remember that. Since the start of the 2021-22 school year, we've had over 1,850 logins to our Wellness Center laptop. This represents about 475 individual student IDs. These are students that are coming either to drop in for 15 minutes, to make a referral for counseling services, or for groups or one-on-one support.
At Livermore High School, it was determined a couple years ago, I want to say a little over 2 years ago, that there was a huge need for a wellness center type area for our students to access. It came about because what we started to notice in terms of trends was that students were coming more to the office more and more with social emotional issues and concerns, and that they were needing our support. Some of them were looking for places to come just to kind of be away from their classmates, an opportunity to regroup. And what we were finding is that we were housing them in a busy office, right? Trying to support students with chaos happening around them, as typically would happen in a student office. So in conversation with our counselors, what we determined was that we were going to reorganize what our counselors look like in terms of the work they were going to do. We had 4 counselors. They were academic counselors. Of course, they did do the social emotional counseling, and they did do college and career ready information for them. But what we were looking for was someone who was geared specifically for health and wellness. So we tried a couple of things. We tried our CAP period, which is in the morning. Students are able to come to school early and get additional support, get tutoring, retake tests, whatnot. We decided we were going to push out workshops on SEL. Wasn't getting too much traction, but the kids that were coming were very invested in the information that we were presenting to them. So we said, let's take it a little further. In talking to the counselors, they decided that they were really good with restructuring their work. And so what we did was we took the counselors, made 3 of them purely academic and 1 of them a SEL counselor. This SEL counselor was going to work with the administration to develop what we call a wellness center, a place for students to go to regroup, right? Before they get in trouble, when they're feeling anxious, when they just need a minute. And so we started that work and decided that we needed students because it was for them. So they needed to have voice in what was how we were going to develop that wellness center. Those students became known as our culture keepers. Our culture keepers and Mr. Radecke, myself, and the rest of the administration spent a lot of time about what those program components would look like. What we have decided to do was to look at development of this wellness center in 3 phases. Our first phase started off with finding a location, restructuring the counseling, getting students on board and trained on teen mental health as well as peer mediation. That was our first phase, finding a space. The second phase was looking at hiring a full-time clerical staff, or looking to hire a clerical staff, as well as having spaces, 2 spaces, one for where there's going to be intense intervention and support happening, one a place where students are able to hang out, and then an office space for outside providers who come in and do therapy with our students. The third phase is, which is what we're working on next, is offering a therapist on site for our students here full-time, a full-time clerical, as well as additional resources with our partnerships in the community.
We've seen a lot of changes on campus over the years. One of my favorite changes that we made over the last, really it started about 3 years ago. It's right now March 2022, is the Wellness Center. It's not a new idea. It's something that I know that we've been working towards for a few years, and there are a couple of campuses elsewhere here in the Bay Area that had one, and so we reached out to them when things got really, really hard, specifically right before, and then it worked out really well that it was here during the pandemic, when students were really needing something, really needing guidance, and the Wellness Center came right at the right time. Distinctly when we were in distance and we used to have weekly videos from the Wellness Center. It was really helpful. It was a nice way to connect to everybody. Other things that I really like about the Wellness Center is that you've got kind of 2 rooms. You've got people and light and bright and sunshine and activities. And in the other room, you've got like a quieter, calmer, chill, like darker place if you want to just kind of be and not have to talk and not be inundated with sunshine.